The arena reeked of iron and smoke, the scent of blood thick in the air. Thousands of alien spectators roared from their hovering stands, a cacophony of guttural cries and mechanical drones. On the battle floor, she crouched low, muscles taut, blue skin glistening under the harsh, flickering lights. Her long black hair clung to her shoulders in sweaty strands, horns catching the light like twin beacons of defiance. Every eye in the arena seemed to track her movements, but her focus was singular: survive. Her opponent, a towering quadrupedal alien with serrated claws, charged. She rolled beneath its swing, feeling the wind scrape across her back, and lashed out with a kick, sending it sprawling into the barriers. The crowd's roar was deafening, but she didn't register it. Her mind was already calculating the next move. She had fought here for years, each match a lesson in pain and cunning, each victory a razor-thin margin between life and death. From the observation deck above, a human leaned over the railing, coat dusted from travel and eyes sharp. He wasn't here for entertainment. He wasn't here to gawk at the spectacle of suffering. He was here because he saw something no one else had noticed. Not a prisoner, not a fighter, but a warrior with spirit and intelligence unmatched in the arena. Another opponent dropped from the hatch above, claws extended, teeth bared. She pivoted, dodging the lethal arc, twisting her body with precision that came only from countless fights. A kick to the side, a roll to evade a strike, her curvy yet muscular form moving like liquid through the chaos. The audience gasped, half in admiration, half in morbid expectation. She could hear their predictions, their betting, but she ignored it all. Every match had become survival, nothing more. The human moved silently down the catwalk, careful to remain unseen, careful not to startle her. He knew the guards, the mechanisms, the traps, they all depended on fear. And fear was something she knew better than anyone. As the next wave of opponents approached, she paused for a split second, scanning the floor, noting every exit, every corner, every weak point in the arena's design. Her instincts screamed at her, trust no one, rely on no one. But then she noticed something she hadn't expected. A human, not the spectators, not the officials, but one person, was watching not with malice, not with judgment, but with intent. And that intent felt different. The fighting continued. She ducked under a swing, her thighs flexing, arms striking with precision. Sweat ran down her blue skin, horns glinting with each motion. Another opponent lunged, claws slicing the air where she had been moments before. She spun, grabbed a metal rod discarded from the arena's edges, and sent him sprawling. Pain was a familiar companion. Exhaustion was a constant. But fear, true, paralyzing fear, was something she hadn't felt in years. Until she glanced up and saw him. He stepped forward from the shadows, deliberately, confidently, signaling something with a gesture she didn't fully understand yet. She didn't move toward him. Her training and survival instincts screamed to flee, but her curiosity prickled at the back of her mind. He was human, yet his eyes held no desire to dominate, no hunger for spectacle. He held only purpose. The arena master bellowed commands, and guards surged toward her, their weapons clashing against the chaos of combat. She ducked and spun, heart hammering, but this time she didn't just react, she planned. She observed the human's movements, noting how he avoided the sensors, bypassed the guards with precise timing, and positioned himself to intercept. It wasn't luck. It was strategy. And in that moment, a spark of hope ignited. She darted across the floor, weaving between combatants, following the path he subtly carved, instinct and intellect meshing. The guards realized too late, they had underestimated the synergy forming, the silent partnership emerging in the heat of battle. A well-timed strike from her, a calculated diversion from him, and one by one the obstacles fell, allowing them to approach the exit. "Follow me," he hissed as they reached a narrow corridor behind the arena. His voice was low but commanding, full of certainty she hadn't heard in years. She hesitated for barely a heartbeat. The arena's floor was still crawling with enemies, the smell of blood thick, the echoes of the cheering crowd ringing in her ears. But his presence was a lifeline, a tether pulling her out of the chaos she had called life for so long. The corridor was dark and industrial, steam hissing from pipes overhead. Her boots slipped on slick metal, muscles trembling from the previous fight, yet she pressed forward. He guided her through twists and turns, avoiding traps, dismantling locks, clearing paths. The human wasn't just offering escape, he was offering choice. And that choice was foreign, dangerous, and terrifying. When they finally reached the transport bay, she could see the ship waiting, sleek, compact, no insignia, just a vessel designed for speed and discretion. He motioned toward it. "Get in. You don't have to fight anymore, unless you want to. For a long moment, she didn't move. The arena had been her world, her cage, her teacher in survival. Freedom was a concept she had heard of but never experienced. Trust was a word she had forgotten. And yet, something in his eyes, something in the calm authority he radiated, told her that this was different. That this human wasn't here to enslave her, to control her, or to exploit her survival skills for sport. She stepped forward, heart hammering, sweat dripping from her horns, blue skin glistening under the harsh lights one last time. Every step toward the ship was a step away from fear, away from pain, away from everything she had been forced to endure. And every step was a step toward a future she hadn't allowed herself to imagine. Once inside the ship, she sank into a seat, trembling, muscles finally relaxing after the constant tension of the arena. The human sat across from her, posture relaxed but eyes never leaving her. Silence stretched between them, comfortable and strange, a mutual recognition of survival and trust. "You survived," he said softly. "Not because I saved you, but because you never gave up." She swallowed hard, memories of countless battles flashing through her mind. The crushing blows, the relentless training, the deafening cheers of the crowd. And now, for the first time, she realized that survival didn't have to mean suffering. That strength could coexist with safety, courage with hope. The ship lifted off, engines humming steadily, carrying them away from the arena, away from the world that had treated her as property. The stars streaked past the viewport, cold and distant, yet full of possibility. She allowed herself to look at them, to breathe, to let the weight of chains and fear fall away. For the first time, she was not a fighter in someone else's arena. She was not property. She was not a spectacle. She was herself, a warrior, yes, but one who could choose her battles, her allies, her path. And beside her, the human remained, not as master, not as captor, but as a witness to her reclaiming life. Freedom was terrifying. Freedom was exhilarating. Freedom was hers, finally. And she would not squander it,